well and officially home. I am in my favorite city. I am in my element. I am in the best place on earth. Hello from Taiwan and welcome back to Usual Spot. I think ever since I started being on Bookstagram, I've always shouted my love and shared my praises for this beautiful, beautiful city. Taipei, a city that blends the old with the new, and it just makes me feel so at home and just, I don't know, it just feels right. It feels like home. It feels like where I am meant to be. So I'm here right now. Bangkok has been lovely, but very tiring and stressful, mostly because of work. So I thought, let's take a little bit of a break, and I'll be in Taiwan for a good 2.5 weeks, where I don't really have much plans. I've been here a good 5, 6, 7 times already, and I just love being around the city. I love walking around, not needing my maps. I've been here enough times to know how to go to my favorite places, and I thought I'll take you guys with me. I'll bring you through my usual days, what I'm currently reading. And what I'm currently reading is Notes of a Desolate Man by Chi Tian-wen. I got this here in Taipei just a couple days ago, and I'm already almost done. I think it's only up until here, so I have a good maybe 50 pages left. Hoping to finish it today, and I'll let you know how it goes. It's interesting so far, but I do have a lot of thoughts and comments on it. But yeah, it is currently 7 a.m. and I have work today. It's a Friday, so I'm starting the day early so I can get some breakfast, get some coffee, and then get some work done at a cafe somewhere. It's a Friday, so it should be a no meetings work day. I can focus on actually doing work instead of being on meetings. Then I'm gonna have lunch with my friend, and then let's see where the day takes us. I am feeling like having a Friday night out, but I'll see if any of my friends in Taipei are available because I'm feeling kind of social. So also, wow, look at me doing a travel vlog. But disclaimer, there's gonna be more of like a travel reading vlog, just so I don't feel pressured. Again, I'm still learning the ropes here, but I hope you enjoy with me. But anyway, let us go grab some brunch and see where the day takes us. I think I'm in my favorite town in Taitung. I don't want to commit Taiwan yet, but it's very cute. Oh, you cannot see it. Chilling by the beach and just people watching. So it doesn't. horrible. This is bad. Ooh, yummy food.
We go back to the night market. You have to put your hands behind
It's
it.
a millet
like this,
wine.
you know, to show it.
It's a millet wine.
It's Taiwanese, only found in Taiwan.
Not sure if that's true, but it is from Taiwan.
Isn't that what Google said?
Well, maybe you can buy it in a grocery store somewhere. Taiwanese grocery store in Germany.
But it is Taiwanese.
There's a statement here.
Support that.
It is. We're going climbing again. The lighting is fun. Don't look at me. This is my first time shooting a booktube video in almost a month. I have not wanted to be in front of a camera for a while, and ripping the band-aid off because I've missed this community so much, and we're locking in for the next few months. I have so many ideas, so many bookish and non-bookish stuff that I want to share with you guys, and I just need to rip the band-aid off. So we're doing that today. And today I'll be talking to you guys about a month delayed video, which is every book I read and bought while I was in Taipei. I was in Taiwan for 3 weeks. And yes, all of these books were in my luggages. Half of my luggage space was basically just all books. This will be a bit more of a casual video. I didn't have any script. I literally just got all of the books, and then I told myself, let's just do it. Let's just have a little conversation. Just imagine you're on FaceTime with me. So if I'm incoherent, don't mind me. I just want to get comfortable with the camera again, and I've been itching to share to you guys every single book I've explored while I was in Taiwan. So let's get to it. I will start first with the books that I brought and read. There's a lot of overlap that you're gonna notice here. There are some books I brought but I didn't read, some books that I brought and read, and some books that I bought and read and bought and didn't read. Let's see how this goes. I'll start first with the books that I brought and read. So basically, I brought this from Bangkok. I flew to Taiwan, brought all of these, read it. First was The Coin by Yasmin Zahir. I read this while I was on the plane. I was already halfway through it when I started reading this on the plane, and I feel like, if I'm being honest, if I wasn't on the plane for 3.5 hours, I don't think I would have finished this as fast as I did. The Coin is a fascinating novel because it has, I love the contrast of its themes of a wealthy Palestinian woman who moves to New York and has this obsession with wealth and beauty, but also has a very stark contrast to the way that she lives life and the people that she associates with. issue for me is it just doesn't tie together. I don't need everything explained to me, but I do need you to make sense the moment I start like digging a little deeper. It didn't work that way for me. I don't think it ended. Just had so many loose ends. It didn't feel like an open ending. It just felt like a confusing, messy ending, in my point of view. It wasn't. It was interesting. It was fascinating, but overall, I had very, very high expectations, and it just didn't deliver. Next, we have Vincent van Gogh's For Art and for Life. I surprisingly actually really, really like this. I read this pretty much in 1 to 2 seatings on 2 train rides from Taipei to Ilan, Ilan to Taitung. That's the east coast of Taiwan. And it's not what I expected it was going to be. I thought I was going to love it because, oh, I would love to hear the wisdom of a person as brilliant as Vincent van Gogh. But what I learned was more his personal histories, how his mind was working as someone that we admire nowadays, but to see where his headspace was when he wasn't famous yet, when he was struggling, when he was going through all of his mental struggles, was something that something that I didn't expect to pick up from this book. And I feel like that's a very accurate title to use for this book. I actually only bought this because I was really fascinated with the edition, the Penguin Archives edition, and I'm just pleasantly surprised that it actually is a very, very interesting book to read. I believe I gave this around 4 stars. Really nice book. Next, my friend and I both read. For me, it's a reread. This is Banana Yoshimoto's Kitchen. I adore Banana Yoshimoto. I don't think I've ever given any of her books 5 stars, but the atmosphere, the themes that she explores, the ambiance is something I've always been obsessed with. But I do remember giving this 3.5 stars when I first read it, and I wanted to give it another try just in case I missed something. And when my friend read this, she read this before I did my reread, and she actually really loved it. I think she gave it around 4 stars. She found the Japanese style of writing very fascinating, especially from this POV of a female writer in Japan. Actually, my 3.5 stars still stands. I feel like the no plot, just vibes is such a Japanese literature and even just Banana Yoshimoto kind of writing. There are 2 stories in this book, and I feel like the first one worked far better than the second one. That just felt a bit uneven for me, but I have no regrets reading it. I feel like just the atmosphere and themes that Banana Yoshimoto is able to deliver always makes a Banana Yoshimoto book worth reading. So it's a 3.5 star that I feel like I would like to revisit again one day. But for my first 2 reads, I feel like the rating stands. So, and also stunning cover. I love a vibrant book. And next we have, I adore this book. I reread Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. So as you can see there, I have like 2 rereads with me just because I'm traveling. Sometimes I don't have a lot of brain space. I just want to revisit a body of work that I've loved already in the past. So for this one, it's Open Water. The main reason I brought this with me is there's a line in this book that I absolutely love, which is a small joy, but a joy nonetheless. That is a passage that has been ingrained in my mind, and I constantly think about, and it just resonates with me. And I love Caleb Azuma Nelson's writing. The funny thing is, this was my 3rd read of the book. My first read of it, I gave it 3 stars. I found the prose too purpley, but I feel like I was just not in the right headspace. I was stuck in Phuket in Thailand back then, and I was having so many anxieties and stressors that I was using this book as an escape, and I feel like it ruined my first reading experience of it. The moment I reread it, I saw its brilliance. I love the tenderness that Caleb Azuma Nelson is able to really deliver, and this reread was exactly the same. I was gasping. I had to take breaks while I was reading this just because it's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. That's all I can say. I am very excited for whatever Caleb Azuma Nelson is able to write next, because even his other book, Small Worlds, is something that I absolutely adore. I think I even prefer that over this, but both are incredible works of fiction. So those are the books that I brought and read. Pretty good choices, I would say. Next, we have a book that I brought, but I didn't finish, which would be Vladimir Nabokov's Pinin. Me and Russian literature, I always just have a hard time. I don't know what it is with their prose, but I just can't sink my teeth into it. I tried reading like 50 pages of this, but I just kept getting distracted. The names, the style of writing. I want to give it another shot in the future, but my mind kept going somewhere else instead of focusing on this book, which in my case, if it's a style of writing or a book that I actually like, I can easily bypass that. But with this one, I gave it like 2-3 days of my trip and I just couldn't get into it. It makes me very, very sad because I've heard this get compared to Stoner by John Williams, which author and book that I love. So I will give this another try one day in the future, maybe when I'm not traveling. Maybe that's why I couldn't really focus on it. But for now, I had to DNF it. So that is Pinin, and I still have my little bookmark with me. Next, we have 2 books that I bought while I was in Taiwan, and I read. I finished this during the same trip. First, we have Patti Smith's Year of the Monkey. I am a big Patti Smith fan. I love and adore Just Kids, but more than Just Kids, M Train is one of my favorite books of all time. The way she writes about nothing while still building intrigue and making me feel interested, it feels like a friend is talking to you, is something that I feel like is such a Patti Smith skill. Unfortunately, Year of the Monkey is not my favorite Patti Smith. I feel like I prefer Just Kids and M Train more, but I do love seeing the way Patti Smith looks at the world. I feel like that's something that remains constant. This just didn't intrigue me as much as I would have wanted, or at least the mundane or nothingness that was being talked about here just didn't capture me as much. Although, again, I was traveling, so that's also a big factor here. So I might revisit this in the future, but for now, I do have a bigger preference for Just Kids and M Train when it comes to the Patti Smith books that I have read. But I'm very glad I've read it. There were a lot of pockets of brilliance or beauty here. It just didn't capture my attention as much as I would have wanted to. And last but not least is a book that I've been looking for around 3 to 4 years. Every time I visit Taiwan, and I've visited Taiwan maybe 5-6 times already, I'd always try to look for this book. This is Notes of a Desolate Man by Chu Tianwen, a female author writing a gay book. It's a different discussion, but this is considered one of the Taiwanese queer classics. And Chu Tianwen is also a screenwriter who has written for some of the most talented directors in Taiwan. So I've always been intrigued by how this would be written. And I have conflicting thoughts. It was a very engaging, intriguing reading experience, but also, on the one hand, that it is not written by a gay man. There's a lot of, that Chu Tianwen did her research while writing this book, but also the authenticity and tenderness doesn't really come out as much. And I say that because I actually didn't know who Chu Tianwen was until about halfway through this book. I only researched the author right after, and then I realized she isn't queer, and she's a screenwriter of movies that I love and adore. So that kind of validated the reason why I looked for the author. I researched the authors. I was like, this is an interesting POV for a queer book to have, because it felt very researched instead of someone writing their lived experiences. So it made me look up the author, and I was like, oh, that's why. And it doesn't take away from the fact that it has a lot of beautiful writing and beautiful insights into the queer experience, especially in Taiwan, which is one of the more liberal countries in Asia when it comes to LGBT and its rights. But it does get quite academic sometimes, and a lot of interesting POVs and takes that I don't always necessarily agree with. So it's a very, very happy I've read it. It's also a very weird sized book, as you can see. It's not very thick, very intriguing, very happy. And again, Taiwanese queer literature is something that I really go out of my way to research, especially just with the background. It's the first country in Asia to have legalized gay marriage. And it's just nice to see the history of how they were able to reach that point. So that's Notes of a Desolate Man by Chu Tianwen after 3-4 years of trying to look for this book. So those are the 2 books that I bought and I read while I was in Taiwan. Last but not the least, the rest of my book haul. I bought 5 books while I was there that I still haven't read, which is fine because, to be fair, I read 2 of them. First, we have Benjamin Labatut's When We Cease to Understand the World. I tried reading the first 5 pages of this, and then I went to the airport, and then I just dropped it. A friend strongly recommended this to me on Bookstagram, I think 2 years ago, and I don't remember ever seeing this in Bangkok. So the moment I saw it in Taipei, I bought it immediately. The thing is, I haven't read the blurb. I don't really know much about it, and I just remember it being nominated for the International Booker Prize a couple years ago, but I didn't really do my research back then, or I just forgot about it. But I remember the first 5 pages were a bit of a blur for me. I don't think it really intrigued me that much. But again, it comes highly recommended. I think I know 3 good friends who really love this book. So I eventually want to try it out. And then I bought it immediately. But not in the immediate future. Next, we have Little Reunions by Eileen Chang. Eileen Chang is an author that I've been wanting to read for the last 2 years. Specifically, Half a Lifelong Romance and Love in a Fallen City. I think those are her 2 more well-known works, but unfortunately I judge books by their cover, and I am trying to collect the NYRBs of Eileen Chang, so this was the only one available, and I wanted to give myself a little taste of Eileen Chang's writing before I dive deeper into her better-known works. Unfortunately, a friend told me that Little Reunions might not be the best one to start with because it's not the most representative of her work, but only one I could find, so. But Eileen Chang is a Chinese author who was there and experienced and wrote about the times when China was modernizing, especially from a Shanghainese perspective. And that's something that I don't really have a lot of visibility on when it comes to literature. I've read a lot about more historic times written by Yu Hua as well as Yan Lianke, but from this specific time period, as well as from a woman's perspective, is not really something that I have exposed myself to, and it's something that I would want to read more about. So that is Little Reunions by Eileen Chang. Next, we have Susan Sontag's On Photography. Very simple reason why I bought this. I have been looking for a Susan Sontag book here in Bangkok because I know she's a fantastic essayist. I've been wanting to read more essay collections in the last few months, but they don't have anything that intrigues me here in Bangkok. And I love taking photos. I love photography, so I was like, Susan Sontag photography sounds right up my alley. So we got it. We got Susan Sontag's On Photography. Very simple. And last 2, both NYRBs. First would be The Door by Magda Szabo. I can't find this anywhere. And this is a book I love and adore. I read this maybe 5-6 years ago back in Manila on an ebook because you can't find this anywhere in Southeast Asia. And I haven't read it since. I remember really loving it. I believe I gave it 5 stars back then. And it really stuck to me for a really long time. So the moment I found this in Taipei in like an indie bookstore, I bought it. I was carrying already so many books, but I said I needed to get it. I don't know when I'll find it again. So that is The Door by Magda Szabo. And last but not the least, another NYRB, and it's still in a plastic cover, is The Old Devils by Kingsley Amis. This was one of the books that I was requesting from NYRB when they asked me to list down possible books that they could check if they could send over. I wanted to explore more of books that I don't really see in popular media or in Bookstagram accounts. I just wanted to really diversify my reading, and I would often come by Kingsley Amis's name, especially when it comes to his humor. I feel like that's a space in literature that is not as well known, or I don't get to read as much, at least personally. So, and I don't know much about it. I mentioned in one of my past videos that I don't always read the blurbs of books that I read, especially if it comes highly recommended or I see a lot of people that I trust the reading taste of mention their names, because it gives me a bit more of a cleaner perspective coming into the book. It excites me when I get to read a book blindly.
So I'm trying to keep it that way. I haven't read the blurb of this book. I saw the author's name. I've seen people love and hate his works, but the people that I have similar reading tastes to do love his works. So I got it. And that is The Old Devils by Kingsley Amis. As you can see, that was a lot of books. When my friends were asking me, Heshe, why is your luggage so heavy? Number one, I was there for 3 weeks. I was in Taiwan for 3 weeks, so I really maximized my reading, but also I really maximized my luggage because this gets heavy after a while. So yeah, that was a trip of a lifetime. Taiwan is one of my favorite places in the world and probably my most visited country ever. And to be able to spend 3 weeks with people that I love, friends that I care about, and go around all of Taiwan from Taipei to East Coast, down south, and then back to Taipei, trip of a lifetime. And to see such a rich reading culture in that country is something that brings a lot of joy. Brings a lot of joy to me. So if ever you guys have the opportunity to go to Taiwan, please do. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country. My favorite place in the world. And if you guys need any recommendations, just let me know. I have a lot of videos. What I don't have is the energy to edit because my life has been kind of busy. I have a lot of big news and big updates that I can't share yet, but stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys at a usual spot.